I don't know if this is popping up on my YouTube channel. Um, all right, we'll see here. Oh, I think we are. Yeah, it just popped up on YouTube. All right, let me get the word out via my phone, and then we will kick this off. I'll probably put a timestamp in the comments to show you guys when to skip to like actually get to the stream after the stream's over for everybody who's gonna miss it. All right, we're gonna ping people on the Discord right now. Sup, Axo. Right now we're just pinging people on the Discord to get some attention. Chat's gonna be real dead for a couple of minutes. All right, just gonna ping one more Discord server, and then I think we should be good. All right. Hopefully, if we're lucky, we'll get Monzi and Crab to join. All right. I think that's good for right now. All right. Looks like we have a few people watching. So, White Elephant on Sunday moment. Yes, I will be in attendance. All right, guys. So I think we are going to officially start this right now. I will put the timestamp in the comments for 6:15 is when the stream is like officially going to start. Coalition of Nations when? Soon. We'll see. I got a few things to take care of before the holidays, and I want to devote all my attention to that game when we start playing. Anyways, welcome to CPUSA State of the Channel Winter 2020 into 2021 live stream. Couple things just on the agenda is finish part 2 of JoJo's. Yes. Well, that one gets a highlight. I got one episode left. Okay, I will do it. Probably this week. Probably. But yeah. So a couple things on the chopping block. We got to cover what am I doing over the next few months, into spring of next year. And I open the floor to you guys after that if you want to suggest content, if you want to come on the stream and talk to me. I'm probably going to get Libertas on here as soon as he can join. And yeah, we'll just we'll take it from there. So first things first, I know I've been talking about this quite a bit for a little bit of time, is that I want to have Dr. Joe Corella on my channel for an interview. And it just kind of hasn't worked out with over the last few months because either he wasn't available or I wasn't available or I was caught up in college apps or he had a meeting somewhere. And it's just been kind of hectic. It's kind of been a back and forth, but we're thinking that I can probably get that interview done over the next few weeks. It's finally going to happen. Pray to God, cross your fingers. Hopefully, we will finally get that done. And then there's going to be, I'm going to make a hellstorm out of it on YouTube, because if I know YouTube, they're going to go after that video. Hey, what's up, dinosaur? If I know YouTube, they are going to go after that video when I upload it, and they're going to call it medical misinformation, and they're going to take it down and give me a strike, but I have a strategy against that. First of all, I'm not going to be the only one who uploads that video. You're going to see it on Raquel's channel. You're going to see it on Libertas's channel. You're going to see it on Gomez Media. You're going to see it on Gen Z Patriot. At least those 4, if not more. I'm probably going to have AP upload it too, but I don't know for sure if he'll do it. But you're going to see it in more than one place. Some people might have abbreviated versions. Like I know Libertas will probably cut his down to just the good parts because he's really good at editing. But so if I upload that video and it gets taken down on my channel, you're going to hear about it on the Discord, which is why it's important to, have my Discord. And you're also going to see it on channels that I have linked on my channel. And, Axo, I know you're not exactly that kind of person, but if you could upload that when I upload it as well, then that would help. Because I know that you have a bit of a following. By the way, when's your next animation coming out? Anyways, that's on the chopping block. What else? Okay, so the content that I'm going to be doing over the course of the next few months is going to be specifically targeted towards vaccines and COVID, specifically Omicron. I am going to devote the next few months to, hold on, Axo responded. When the software gets fixed. Okay, understandable. If you guys haven't, go sub to Axolotl Animations. He makes some really cool animations over there. Highly recommend him. Awesome channel. Go subscribe to him if you haven't already. Anyway, so the content I'm doing over the next few months, I'm going to specifically target all of the vaccines. I'm going to specifically target COVID, the media's narratives about it, and that's all going to come to a head with the Dr. Joe Corella interview, because he's a physician. He's at the forefront of fighting all of this. He went to school with Dr. Anthony Fauci, so he knows him better than a lot of people do, and he's uniquely suited to give people a lot of perspective that they otherwise wouldn't have on fighting COVID. I already have an article ready to go that just blows the doors off of COVID. It details exactly what the virus does to your body, exactly what vaccines do to your body, and shows how the two actually don't have anything to do with each other. I will leave it to that. And when that video gets uploaded, you can watch that. I'm not going to spoil anything else for that video, because then I'll lose a bit. I'm subbing right now. All right, thanks, Crab. I'm not going to spoil that video, otherwise I'm going to lose views on it, but that's going to be a pretty important video when it drops, so definitely check that out when I have it available, which is probably going to be sooner than later. I'm going to have firearms take a back seat on the channel as much as possible over the next few months, and I'm going to really more go focus into politics and faith. I think those are going to be the two main of the three themes that I have for the channel over the next few months. Not to say that there won't be any firearms content. In fact, there's probably going to be a video the day of Christmas or the day after that's firearms related, but that may be the only thing you see firearms related on this channel for the next few months. Which some people will say that's a good thing. Some people will say that's a bad thing. I don't really care. I kind of want to diversify a little bit. But anyways, I think that may be all that I have right now. That's in 2020, right? Or 2021, right? What are you referring to, Dinosaur? Yeah, anyways, I think that's all that I have. Just content related. I'm trying to think if I have any other videos planned, and I don't really right now, but if you guys want to suggest content, then I'm more than open to it. If you want to do that in the comments, go ahead. I will talk to you about it. But I think I'm going to open the floor to you guys, and I'm going to probably invite a few people onto the stream here in a second. The title of stream is Winter 2020. Oh, yes, I am aware. So the way I do these is it's going to be the 4 seasons of the year, and winter is just going to be a transition from 2020 to 2021. It's just that if I put 2020-2021, it doesn't look as cool, and YouTube analytics go and dock it. So I'm going to garner all the views that I can with just a more simplistic title. So I understand, but that's why I did it. The next one of these that you'll see will be spring, or CPUSA State of the Channel Spring 2021. So that'll be like the first thing with 2021 in its title. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, let me see if I can find the join link, because I have used StreamYard so little that I don't understand this platform. But if I can, I will drop that link into the YouTube chat so that you guys can join. Oh, that's easy. All right, I found it. I'm dropping it in the chat now. All right, that should be the join link for the StreamYard. If you guys want to join, and we can have a conversation and just Christmas stream, I guess, then you guys are more than welcome to do that. Axo, become a VTuber. I would rather die. Back off. I miss anything else up here? Fauci bad, I agree, but you won't have to take my word for it. We'll have Dr. Joe Corella on here to give a personal voucher for that. When AR versus AK? When I have an AK. That's a video I've wanted to do for a while, but I don't have an AK yet, and I want to get one that I can actually take the bolt out of it and show people why I think an AK is better. But I don't have the ability to do that right now. I don't have a prop to do that. I don't have a real AK to do that. I don't even have an airsoft AK to do that. So when I get an AK, you'll see that video. Until then, not going to happen. I'm not going to bust my time editing for something that I could just do with a prop. All right, Crab is joined.
Hey,
what's going on?
Nothing much right now. I'm just chilling. I'm in a Fortnite lobby right now. But I thought
Yeah.
I just stop in, I guess.
Yeah, I saw you and Monzi have been playing that a little bit.
Yeah. I was wondering, can I get a link to your Discord, because I got banned off of Discord. My main account got banned for.
No, dude, a bunch of us did. Yeah, I'll send that to you right now.
Yeah, thank you. And I'll post the video with you and the doctor talking on. I have another account on my YouTube page. I haven't posted anything for like 4 years, but just to help you out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, my strategy for that video is just gonna be, I'm going to get it out I'm gonna put it out on so many channels that even if YouTube takes it down on my channel, which will be the first to upload it because it's my video, if mine gets docked, other people will have it up. And if they start getting theirs taken down, then I think other people are going to start to notice, and they're just going to start spreading that video because, it's being censored.
Yeah.
So that's my strategy. I'm probably also going to threaten YouTube with like legal action in the intro to that video if they take the thing down, just to scare them. Because I think they tend to back off when you threaten legal action, because that's what Crowder did recently when he got banned off of YouTube and they reinstated him without a fight. So I think they just don't want a court battle.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. I will definitely send you that video before I upload it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna let yours probably upload first. You know what I mean? That way it goes to you, right? Because you get you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll give you full credit and everything, because I know it's gonna be you talking. But honestly, I think I have like 3 accounts with videos on them, so I'll see what I can do on all 3 of those.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, that video is gonna. I'm hoping that it carries some serious stopping power with it, at least to discredit Fauci, because the person that I'm gonna be interviewing, he went to med school with Dr. Fauci, and he's got some not kind things to say about him.
Yeah.
And we're not talking somebody who sat on the opposite side of the classroom from Fauci. We're talking somebody who was in his friend group, who daily interacted with the guy and knows him very well, and is also a practicing physician, so he can tell you the flaws in what Fauci is saying.
What he's saying, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really awesome interview.
Yeah,
if I can ever get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully though, we should be able to get it done fairly soon here.
All right, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I want to see it. This might be something pretty big. If this, although even if YouTube doesn't take it down, they have their ways in their algorithm to make sure it gets
like pushed down. Yeah, but I think if Gomez and Gen Z upload it, then it'll garner some attention nonetheless.
Yeah, and I already know Gen Z is gonna make like I don't want to be mean, but like he's gonna try to make some like purposely low quality memes on it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
hey Axo, how's it going? Okay, that's great. Yeah, Gen Z and I have a bit of a friendly rivalry going on, so that's fine.
Yeah.
I've thrown a few jabs his way in some of my videos, so it's fine.
Yeah, Gen Z's just wilding right now, man.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, you can do what you want when you have a big channel in a small community.
That's true. And I know Gomez is he has really good production quality, and he's decently big too, right?
Yeah. He's sort of fallen into my upload schedule, though.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
So I know what you mean.
How's it going, Axo?
Pretty good. Hey, as for your upload schedule, it's been getting better. That's good.
It has a little bit. Being done with college apps has certainly helped. It's also helped that YouTube lowered the minimum requirement of subs to unlock shorts. So that has also given me the ability to post shorts, and that's helped me out a little bit. So,
as for my uploads, first of all, I actually am not as into making animations. I've been just making more like art pieces. That's partially because the animation software I'm using, which doubles as just a regular drawing software, has a bug that makes me unable to move frames without my software crashing. So it crashes anytime I actually try to do anything with the video. So I won't be making any animations anytime soon.
Sucks,
I might make
man.
some videos where I just like do speed drawing or something.
That garners a lot of views, I know. So yeah, you could try that. Crab, you were gonna say something?
Huh? Oh no, I just said like that sucks, man. That like he can't really do his, you know.
Okay. I heard something over there, and then Axel started talking. I'm like, oh, Crab got cut off.
Oh no, it's all right. That's all I was gonna say. Yeah, right now my team is getting decimated in the Fortnite, so I'm gonna go help them out.
Nice. Fortnite moment.
Yeah, for real.
So here's one for the chat. Do you guys have live trees? If you guys got a Christmas tree, is it a live tree or is it a fake tree? And what's your argument for either side? Apparently chat is dead, or my StreamYard is just lagging behind.
I guess I'll answer your question.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
We're going to use a fake tree. I actually like the smell of live trees. You know, I'm a big fan of live Christmas trees, but they drop needles everywhere, and they're also a fire hazard. Plus, I'm honestly not that big of a fan of a fake tree, but my family just gets like live evergreen wreaths instead. So those still have the nice smell that a normal Christmas tree would have without being as big and bulky, creating as much of a mess.
Yeah.
Also, it allows us to put up the tree just like really fast before Christmas. We don't have to go out shopping a couple weeks or a week or so in advance. I don't know, because you have to plan it out more. I do prefer the look of live Christmas trees, but I'm going to give the edge to the fake ones in terms of practicality.
Yeah. I got a fake tree, but it looks like a live one, and it doesn't drop all the needles. You know, it's because it's not it doesn't have needs. It's not a living thing. So yeah, it looks like a living one, but with all the benefits of being an inanimate object.
Yeah, that's always nice. I have a live tree because my family and I were working our school's Christmas tree lot. So we just decided to get one there.
Cool.
Okay, so here's the thing about this one: it doesn't smell at all, at all. And
that's a shame. I like the smell of Christmas trees.
Yeah, we used something like this. I'm gonna call it this magical potion called Evergreen Miracle Grow on it, and I could swear this tree is growing.
It's getting bigger.
Getting bigger. The leaves are growing out. I don't understand how. It doesn't have a root system. We give it daily water, but it's literally
probably
growing.
Just becoming more full. Like, if a tree is just kept a little bit healthier in certain areas, it'll look better.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's probably just nutrients, or I don't actually know, because normally trees take in nutrients through their roots. So let's rule out anything that would come up from there. So it's not additional nitrogen, it's not phosphorus. It must be something that just makes the leaves better.
I suppose.
What it could do, it does the tree look more green?
I don't really know. We have a string of lights around it, so we can't really tell. Oh, somebody else joined.
Can't really.
Oi, Josuke. Hello there. Welcome to the stream.
Oi, Josuke. You might not want to use your real name on YouTube, man.
Yeah, really. We were having the conversation about live tree versus fake tree. You know, if you have a Christmas tree, which one do you prefer?
I don't know.
All right.
Thank you for the insight.
Thank you for the massive insight
a
there.
live tree, obviously, because every time you try and put away the fake tree, it gets bigger. It gets bigger.
That no, that is true. Like my family, we've had a fake tree for like we kind of alternate off and on of like we'll have a live tree for a couple years and then a fake tree for a couple years. Last year
Yeah.
we had a fake tree, and when we went to take it down, I swear it was bigger than when we put it up. Or at least that's how it seems when you're trying to get it back in the box. Don't know if that's relatable, but it certainly
It is
seems
very
that way to me.
relatable. Look, the solution is just you get a big box. Instead of using the box that the tree came in, just like use a tote or tape up the box. That's how like everything works when it's tightly packaged by a machine, like a sleeping bag. You're never going to get it back in the exact same way as when you took it out. But at
I
least with that,
suppose.
it's a little bit easier to press down and just shove in.
Yeah. So, anyways, anybody got plans for the holidays?
Nah, I'm just. Oh yeah, actually, I'm going up to the mountains with my to the other side of my family, but they're like super Democrat, and I don't want the shot. And every time I ever see them, they're like, "Oh, why don't you have the shot? Why don't you have the shot? Why don't you have the shot?" And I'm like,
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna.
I felt like digging in a random spot patch of deep slate, and I found some deep slate diamond ore.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Oh,
No,
it is
I'm
fun.
gonna urge you to not get the shot.
No, absolutely.
And
I'm not getting
this is no longer coming from some crazed conspiracy theorist, as the left puts it. The content that I'm going to be doing over the next couple of months is going to conclusively blow the doors off of the argument for vaccines. I have the evidence to do it. It's just a matter of making it into videos.
Yeah.
Like after I'm done, there
you
will
love
be
how-
no argument. There will be no argument whatsoever.
Don't you
Yeah,
love how
it'll be
political
I
now?
could probably explain why the vaccines don't work right here, right now.
Let's go. Save everybody some trouble.
Okay, so the vaccines don't work because one, they're dangerous because these mRNA cells these mRNA vaccines program your cells to basically make artificial protein, and they're made in the heart muscle. Okay, and what these proteins do is an underdeveloped heart muscle, let's say in like someone under 18, they just run through the heart muscle, causing heart damage.
That's one of the side effects, but there's more to it than
I think you're a little bit off on that.
That's a condition called myocarditis, I think, and it's one of the most severe.
It's one of the side effects. So, I saw a video on YouTube. Okay, like one of those that pop up just with all the COVID information.
Oh
and
yeah.
It said, "Does the vaccine cause heart damage?" And they're like, "There is a very low chance that the vaccine will cause heart damage. It is safe and effective." Basically, they just said yes, but in a way that no one would think of as meaning yes.
In a way that doesn't scare people.
Yeah, they said yes, it does.
So, fun fact, on the label for the vaccine, when you get it, it actually has warning on it, and it says it lists that it can cause heart damage.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But it's actually in such a small place and in such obscure lettering that A, it doesn't meet legal requirements dictated by the CDC for warning labels, which is a crime, and two, you can't read it.
Do you think
you literally need a mic?
Do you think
you
these drug
literally need
companies
like a glass to get it?
Do you think these drug companies care about crimes, dude? Pfizer literally had to pay $23 million in criminal fines.
That's true. That was unrelated to the COVID vaccines.
The medical this is also unrelated. This is just the medical industry is awful right now. I mean, just about in every I don't know. I'm not a big fan of what's going on. I should probably make myself more informed about it. What I can tell you is that insulin hasn't changed over the past 20 years, but it's inflated in price by what 100%, 100 times, 100%.
Yeah,
I don't know, 100 something, but it's still way too much for people to be paying $20,000 a year to stay alive if they have diabetes. It's crazy.
Yeah, the most common argument that I find that like works really well against people who are super religiously pro-vaccine is why would you trust the people who are pro-eugenics, pro-abortion, and have been so for like 30 years, with a drug that doesn't cost anything to you, even though your taxpayer dollars are going towards it. Why would you trust somebody with your health who wants to lower the population of the earth, and these people are the same ones who produce life-saving medicines, and they hike them up to astronomically high prices to turn a profit on them? Why would they offer a free drug to you at like no immediate cost to yourself?
Yeah,
It doesn't make
exactly.
sense.
Exactly. Exactly. If people found the cure to cancer, you really think it would be free, and
Yeah,
they'd pay
no
you
way.
to get it?
No way.
They pay you to get. That's the
No,
kicker
there's
there.
some there are places paying you to get the vaccine.
They wouldn't pay you to get. I don't know. It's. You know what? To use an allegory that only one person in this call would understand, it's very reminiscent of Funny Valentine, where you want to believe that they're doing good things because it seems like without knowing anything more than surface level information, they would be doing good things, but
Yeah, that's
they're
it.
not. At the end of the day,
If you're just surface level thing, if you just look at it and they're like giving away vaccines for free, you're like, oh, that's great, that's for good people. But if you really delve into the research, see where this money's going, it's like, yeah, this is not going to end well.
Well, Fauci got busted on the Senate floor for funding gain-of-function research long before COVID was a thing. And I actually, on a tip from another YouTube video and another source that I have, I went digging into patent records, and turns out there's a patent for COVID-19, and it existed before the virus.
In like the 90s, right?
Yeah.
no, it was like the early 2000s, if I remember correctly.
No, the first patent is 1997. And then the next patent that has anything to do with all this madness is actually a patent for one of the vaccines, and that's a patent that was created in 1999. And then once you get into
I don't remember
2001 onwards, you just see an explosion of these things from Pfizer, Moderna, J&J, a couple other companies. A Chinese entity made a patent on one of them. Fauci's private medical company had several patents in there that involved these things. It's been something that's in the works, and there's publicly verifiable evidence for it. You just go find the patent records. This has been something that's been in the works for well over 20 years, which is kind of scary when you think about it. And now I'm going into the content that I'm going to do over the next few months.
Well, you already went into that, so.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, who do you think would be the mastermind behind this? Because Bill Gates seems like he's all over this.
Well, Bill Gates is certainly one player, and he's certainly the biggest on eugenics. I wouldn't be surprised to find out that George Soros had his hand in all of this, because that dirty money of his goes everywhere and in every nasty plot on Earth. China's a player. I mean, after all, they were the one who released everything. Although, from the information that I've been able to find, it seems like they were developing it as a bioweapon. It did release from a lab, but it was accidental. It was not intended. People just capitalized on it when it happened. But Omicron is actually the first bit of good news on the actual, like, the virus front since all of this started.
Yeah,
because
it's
Omicron,
the first one. It's becoming more and more like a regular old cold. It's spreading very quickly, but it's becoming much less deadly. That's how viruses normally evolve. So.
Yeah, but here in the
Yes, the
state of
appendages that are used to attach to the cells, they're losing the properties that make them more lethal, but they're gaining the properties that make them more infectious.
I'd see you later, Crab. But yeah, Jessica, you have a point. The virus, like, as it mutates more and more through contact with human cells, it's actually dulling, and it's losing the ability to bond to critical receivers that cause the infection of COVID-19. Chat went real dead there for a sec. But yeah, Just all of this and more is going to be content that I discuss over the next few months. Again, I have a really, really good article that I'm trying to find backups for right now because I don't want to just do one article by itself. That's poor journalism, but it's a really good article. And as soon as I can substantiate it, I'm going to make a video on it, and it's just going to knock the doors off of the vaccine.
Also, when are you going to discuss Meta?
Meta. Explain.
Facebook
Metaverse.
changed their name to Meta.
Oh, the metaverse. I'm just going to see how that develops first. I mean, there's nothing good that can come of it with Zuckerberg's hands all over it. I think anybody with a brain knows that. But I'm just going to see where that goes first. That's what I do with quite a few things, actually, because I haven't made videos on the January 6th community where a lot of other creators have gone off the deep end with that committee, just because I knew it was going to destroy itself in the end, and it did. And I felt like making videos on it is just going to lower my credibility if I get something wrong in the end. So I'm just going to let certain situations like that play out. Another one was a Kyle Rittenhouse trial. I'm actually now waiting to make a video on that. I have been getting resources all together to do like an in-depth breakdown of that. And then I decided, you know what? I'm going to wait and I'm going to see more of the fallout of this trial. Because obviously the trial's over. And I do still intend to make a video breaking down the trial itself. But as far as like the narratives and everything, I'm going to wait to see the fallout of all of that before I start making videos on it.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like I'm talking a lot here.
Well, I mean,
let's
it's
change
your
it.
live stream. What else would we be doing?
Yeah. I don't know. I got a few clips that I was just planning on putting in here if like people were being idiots in the chat like this one.
That was idiotic. Off to hang myself. Caught and left.
Yeah, I got a few like that.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, you're an idiot. I had another one.
Oh yeah,
that
I
was,
remember that one.
Yeah, I had another one that was like the Life Could Be Dream Doom Guy one, but it was too short
I'm pretty
to
sure
upload.
that's the Dragonborn from Skyrim.
Maybe.
Not Doom Guy.
Whatever.
That
I had a video. I had that video. And it's StreamYard wouldn't let me upload it because it's too short. I don't know. StreamYard. StreamYard's weird. I only use it for live streams every few months. It gets me by on that much. Yeah, but anyways, chat's kind of dead right now, as I was expecting a few more people. I could go and re-ping Discord,
maybe
but I don't feel
everyone's
like doing that.
traveling.
Discord.
Maybe everyone could be with their family for Christmas or something
Yeah.
like that.
I figured as much. Libertas, he's going to be coming later. I know that much. So I'm just trying to keep the stream alive until we can get him on. Because I really do enjoy working with United States Enclave. Awesome channel. Go check him out if you haven't already. For like the two people in the chat.
Did you see his recent video where he's
All right.
covered the video where
I'm
he
gonna
saw kid handing
speak of
to
the
a
devil.
vial of blood?
Speak of the devil and he
Sup?
shall appear. Everybody
Hello.
give a warm welcome to United States Enclave.
Hello,
Hello.
United States
Hi.
Enclave.
How y'all doing?
I
Oh,
have
good.
to go, John Paul.
I think this might be the first time I've been
All
on
right,
CPUSA
later,
stream.
Exo. No, I think you were on here once before.
Was I?
I think it was the last, or no, you weren't on the last one. It was Gen Z we had on the last one, and then I asked you to like make memes out of the last one because Gen Z was being a moron.
Yes.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
this is the first time United States Enclave has been on a live stream here. So everybody give a warm welcome to United States Enclave. This guy is awesome. Go check out his channel if you haven't already. He is much better with uploads than I am and does much better edits. Love working with this guy.
Yep. So what were we talking about?
I was kind of talking about like the content that I want to do over the next few months. I'm going to specifically
nice.
dedicate it to knocking the doors off of the whole COVID argument and the vaccines and everything. I have the proof, and AP's on here.
Oh, AP, hey, that's interesting.
What's up, AP? How's it going?
I can never get AP on my streams.
I don't know. Maybe it's a timing thing. How's it going, American Predictions? Yeah, I was just kind of talking about. I want to do a lot of content revolving around the science of the vaccines of COVID, and just breaking down how this is all an agenda that's been going on for 20 years. Patent records prove it, and people should be a lot more educated and a lot more knowledgeable and conscious of these vaccines than they are right now, especially with the government becoming even more draconian and trying to push these things even harder.
Yeah.
Oh boy, speak of the other devil, and he shall appear as well. Welcome, Gen Z Patriot. Also,
it's
Josh.
Gen Z.
Oh, hello.
It's Gen Z Patriot.
Oh my god, he's here. We have the whole meme
This
crew.
can't end well.
The stream is complete.
The stream is completed. Let's go.
Yes. Josh Siebert, hello. Welcome to the stream. So for everybody who missed the past few minutes of the stream, because we kind of had two separate crowds come through here, the content that I'm going to be planning on doing over the next few months is going to be we're going to finally get that interview done with Dr. Joe Corella and Gen Z. We have a strategy that involves that video not getting taken down and involves you uploading it. So just FYI on that. You're not going to be the only. We're going to have multiple people upload it, so that way, if it gets taken down on my channel, then there are going to be other ways of finding it.
Oh yeah,
You're cool with that?
Who are you talking to? Sorry.
I mean, I guess both of you, because.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it. Like, I'm fine with uploading it.
Did you see my message on Discord?
Yeah, I did. Oh god, Sam is here.
Message?
I know this kid. This kid is dangerous.
No, don't let Sam in. Don't let Sam in, bro. He's gonna troll.
Sam. Hello, Sam. Yeah, okay. I get to make fun of this kid because I know him IRL.
Was Sam on one of your other live streams? For some reason, his name sounds familiar.
I think he commented a few times.
Okay.
Oh boy, we're just gonna see the battle in the comments of Josh and Sam. I actually have a really funny blooper because I was up for a cross country meet in Clovis, Fresno. Oh boy, Gen Z left.
RIP.
R.I.P. Everybody salute. Not really. I have a clip with Sam. Let me see if I can actually find it. We started doing a video, and I had Sam in the background because we were roommates up in Clovis, and it was really funny. Let me see if I can find that.
Oh, there's a video on it, like a meme.
Yeah, I think I have it somewhere.
So, well, okay, and also if you're going to do the vaccine stuff, you got to be careful with the words, like, because YouTube is insane. Like the vaccine stuff in particular has gone, they've gone like super tyrannical on. I can't even like name the word vaccine without getting banned. Was it Gen Z? Did he come back on?
Yeah, it's been difficult, I know, for a lot of creators, but essentially my strategy for it is going to be, I'm going to upload it first on my channel, but before I upload it, the file is going to be sent out to you, to Gen Z, to Gomez, to AP, to Raquel, and maybe a few others if they volunteer. Crab said he'd upload it.
I mean, I support. You know, what if you're going to do that one? I definitely support it. I don't know if AP will, because I know AP has a different way about going about those things. But like, it's just the issue is that I think the problem you're going to encounter is that YouTube is very, very sensitive on that in elections. Like, if you mention any of those, they will usually like straight up just ban or like launch a temp ban. It is insane. So yeah.
So yeah, it's I don't know. I think the first thing I'm gonna do in that video is like before the actual interview itself. I'm going to have like a warning in there for
What's up, AP?
YouTube. What's up, AP? I'm gonna have like a warning in there to YouTube that basically I'm gonna say, take this down. It's not going to be the end of it. This video will propagate whether you want it to or not. I will post it on other platforms. Other creators already have the file, and I will threaten them with legal action if they take it down, which usually gets them to back off. I mean, it did in Crowder's case.
Also, if you don't mind, I would like to give you some recommendations because there's a few things that I've learned and I figured out that just in case you may not know to help limit the chances of them taking it down. If you have like a external border and like in like middle like a certain percentage of the video, that can help lower the chances of them taking stuff down. That's what some people do against like copyright stuff. And then also if you put like a copyright disclaimer or like things saying this is for educational purposes and so on, it can help further limit the chances of them taking it down. And then if they choose to try to take it down, your appeal could be further basically empowered by that. So
there was actually a purge on Twitter today, and
for memes?
a lot of these like it wasn't even any any Democrats. I haven't seen any Democrats get banned, but there were like 20 Republican accounts that I know. They all got banned, and I lost and a lot of Republican Twitter like users. They
is that why I got banned on Twitter today?
Was that on Twitter? Is this
Yeah.
on Twitter? It's probably memes.
Today on Twitter.
Memes.
Yeah,
Twitter hates memes.
I expect nothing less from Twitter. Honestly, if you're still on that platform as a Republican, I commend you. Get off. That platform is lost to us. YouTube
I'm literally
is the
just waiting to
battleground.
get banned, to be honest.
Yeah, cue the Nazi Germany anthem.
Yeah.
Sums up
FDR
Twitter.
was a Nazi. It's true.
Darn right.
This is my reaction to any time that Twitter does something.
That was idiotic. Off to hang myself. Hot and left.
What, do you seriously have that in the clips?
Yes, I do. I've used it in my videos before.
That was the last thing I was expecting from TF2.
It is a perfect clip. Wow, we got a lot of people in the chat now. Not Gabe, legal action. It's more of a threat than anything, but usually the threat itself gets YouTube to back down.
Wait, what are you for what video?
Okay, it's a video that I haven't uploaded yet or I haven't filmed yet. It's going to be an interview with Dr. Joseph Corella, who is he's a classmate of Dr. Fauci's and a fellow physician. And has some not nice things to say about Dr. Fauci and has a lot of really good insight on battling the virus. Huh?
Have you recorded the video yet?
No, because I haven't been able to nail down a time to interview Dr. Corella, but hopefully we're thinking we're going to be able to get together to do that interview over the next few weeks.
Gen Z, what's happening with those like AirPods? They're just like crooked.
So, CPUSA, did you talk to Gen Z about posting it over, like if your site goes down?
I think I mentioned it to him a couple months ago, but he probably forgot, and I don't blame him. Gomez also forgot.
AP, what about you? Like, would you be down to post it on your end if it like gets taken down on CPUSA's end?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, put up what?
Oh, it's what is it? It's the vaccine.
It's going to be an interview with Dr. Joseph Corella.
I'll just get banned. That's the thing.
Well,
I've been temp banned like 100 times.
If it gets taken down, I'll just post it on my second channel, and that won't get taken down.
Like YouTube already hates me, so I'm just like I just purposely post things that tick them off.
USC has been hit with so many strikes and takedowns, it's ridiculous.
I somehow I keep bouncing back though.
Yeah,
for much
literally like the first like couple of seconds of my like. It was just like me streaming Trump's like speech. It got taken down.
I'm not even gonna lie. I have a pretty good relationship
Classic
with
YouTube. Orange man bad.
Gen Z, you did not. You got banned like 5 times.
No, I do. No, I got one strike my whole time on YouTube for a Trump stream.
You got
No, only one time.
I thought you got a suspension though.
And they kind of deserve that strike.
YouTube actually likes me though, because I've never gotten suspended. I've only got like.
Well, I mean,
wait for it. Just wait for it. You're tempting fate by staying on this platform, AP.
And then
yeah. AP, I think,
on
stays in
Twitter?
like the neutral area. That's why like he gets like both left and right and the center aisle. So like he plays it safe. Me on the other hand, I'm just like I'll just upload anything just to tick off.
I mean, like, it
go,
does some,
you
like,
go and
personal
call, you go
views,
call the
like-
Democrats Nazis.
I have
It's the
contact with
truth.
YouTube. I have contact with YouTube, and they were actually really cool one time. I don't know why, but I think my live streams, I couldn't live stream because of my age or something. And I contacted YouTube, and they helped me put it back up. So that was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I've had like probably at least this point 30 different strikes, and then I get like 2 strike. I got the warning, then like the other was it 2 strikes, and then I wait for it to go down, and then I go get another few strikes later on, and then I wait for it to go down. It's kind of tedious and painful, but
I've only
it
had
still
one
works.
warning. I've had 1 strike and 1 warning.
I've had like 2 warnings and like 0 strikes. So YouTube like likes me.
I don't even do anything purposely to tick off YouTube for the most part, but it just happens to
Alright, I
make
have to
them
go.
irritated.
Actually, I'm going to watch Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Oh yes.
No,
Alright,
you're
have
not.
fun.
Actually,
Yes, I am.
It's a
yeah.
good film.
I've heard it's a good film. I haven't
In
watched
Orange
it yet.
County-
I'm gonna go see it. All
in
right, later,
Orange
Gen Z.
County-
All right,
So,
everybody salute
yeah.
for the devil himself. But yeah, YouTube is a bit of a dangerous game, just inherently by being on here. And I honestly, I'm fully expecting for action to be taken against that video, especially with the information that I know is going to come to light in that video. It's going to be very, very damaging for Anthony Fauci. And if if the mainstream catches a whiff of it, it's game over for Fauci.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think CPUSA, you should try to like basically push them like advertise it, advertising videos and whatnot. And maybe like if you want me to, I could also post on my end like some advertising videos. And then basically you keep hyping it up and then hyping it up, and then you just like tag everything possible in that video. And then when people are like, oh wow, it's this guy who's friends and roommates of Fauci, then I mean, your channel's trying to like gain like 1 million subs, and you become like another Crowder.
Just get in contact with like PragerU and like
I don't know about another Crowder,
Charlie
but he'll
Kirk.
definitely get a jump.
Well, you get my point though. I mean, it could boost you like insanely because people like that stuff.
Well, I'm not doing this for my own sub count. That's what people have to realize. I'm doing this to discredit like a genuine monster who's currently running the country.
No, yeah, but I mean, but the point is that people like seeing this stuff and whatnot. They'll probably follow you if they're like, if they see this, they're like, oh wow, he's got this stuff on here. Okay.
AP keeps getting cut off.
Didn't he like kill dogs, Fauci?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was just one of the unethical things that his medical experimentation company did, and they were actually one of the
death.
Did he like make the coronavirus or something?
Yeah, he was one of the first ones that had a patent on it. There's publicly verifiable patent records for the coronavirus and its vaccines that go back to 1997.
Oh wow.
You have to really dig for them, but they're there. I found them.
Maybe you should review on Rumble.
Oh, on Rumble.
Yeah, I have a Rumble account. I don't use it,
one.
but I'm probably gonna upload it there too, just as a backup.
Yeah. I mean, like that's the thing. Like that's why people call him Dr. Death now. Dr. Fauci. Call him Dr. Death because he puts dogs in like cages and
told people to
land
assassinate
sandworms
Dr.
and
Fauci.
Jesse
Walters.
Like
Jesse
that
Waters
idea.
told people to assassinate Fauci.
Wait, who said that? Oh, Jesse Waters.
That's not the smartest idea, but
on Fox News.
Oh
Fox
yeah.
News has some intellectuals. I'll put it that way. Mark Levin just loves ranting. Jesse Waters is milquetoast
Fox
some days
News,
and an
besides like
extremist
Sean
on others.
Hannity and Tucker Carlson is just
Sean Hannity's terrible though. He can't.
Sean Hannity's meh.
Sean Hannity can't criticize Trump on like anything.
He's a Trump cultist, which I think you're gonna see a real split pretty soon because Trump has been unapologetic about the vaccines, which is very unpopular. It's very increasingly unpopular, and people have actually booed him during rallies. As like USC has a video of it. He got booed during a rally and during an interview for pushing the vaccine. So.
Oh yeah, Trump. Yeah, I mean, and the problem is actually today. I don't know. The problem is today. Actually, I posted over on my channel. I posted something about well, here actually, let me reread it. It was okay. So I'm getting a lot. Yeah, I was getting into a lot of arguments. I said I was getting a lot of arguments with Trumpers because so I posted some things and I was talking, and I got in some arguments with some people who were, on the right, because the problem is on the right now they've kind of idolized Trump, or they propped him up almost as like a god, so to speak. And sadly, if I even dare critique him, it's just like, oh, how dare you critique him? Like, listen, it's not like I want to critique him. It's just when something I don't agree with happens, I want to speak out against that. And I don't think people should be idolizing anyone, a politician or a businessman. And it's actually kind of frightening, really, when you think about it as the right are propping this guy up. It's like, but no, yeah, I got in a few like arguments and whatnot today and yesterday because people were like, how dare you critique Trump? It's like, listen, all I'm saying is I don't agree with what he's pushing or what he's promoting. I respect the guy for what he did, and I support what he's trying to do. Make America great again. I support that. But when he starts pushing the vaccine stuff, and I don't agree with it, and I don't agree with boosters because it seriously does mess people up, I'm going to have to, I'm going to say something about it. But apparently, Trumpers or right wingers or whatever you want to call them, they don't really agree with me on that, and I'm like, I don't understand, and that leaves me my main concern, where I think the right, if they keep up this path, they will end up being another version of the left down the road, because that's a similar thing that the left does, where it doesn't matter what their people do, they will protect them to the end. It's like, yikes.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Trump needs to back down on that issue. I'm just gonna say that right now, because that's the best case scenario. But knowing Trump, he won't, because he's so stubborn and he's such a fighter. And you know what? I will call Trump out when he makes mistakes. I called him out on the bump stock ban, even though I didn't have a channel back then. That was bullshit, for lack of a better term. It struck down in courts. I will continually rip him over giving Fauci any position of power, although granted they had no way of knowing that he was a snake back then.
Yeah.
But there's also like his pro LGBTQ stance. It's just like so cringy. Like
he probably did that so that he didn't get absolutely ripped to shreds by the leaders.
Well, and more importantly, I think the more important question is, do we want another left in this country? Do we just want two lefts? I mean, really, because if we are protecting a guy like Trump, right? And I'm not saying we can't like the dude for what he does. Okay, you can. I don't mind if people like the dude. We can always disagree on certain things, but when it comes down to he was pushing things that a lot of people I think would agree are dangerous or that have caused harm or that have negative side effects. And when people come out and risk their careers and whatnot, and he's yet still promoting it, and people and then I critique him or someone else critiques him, and they're like, "How dare you critique him?" It's like, okay, so I'm not allowed to critique him? Are you like just the same wings of the bird? We're just wanting to, you're becoming another version of the left. At this point, it's going to be like, I can side with Biden, or I can side with this Trump, I guess Trump cult. I hate to call it that, but that's really what it is. It's like they're surrounding him and they're saying this is our god, pretty much. You cannot attack him, and if you critique him, you're just as bad as the left. And it's like I'm not a leftist. I don't agree with the left. So, but they're going to try to push people over there now. It's like it's going to become a tug of war match between two sides who are basically doing similar things. Eventually, it's really dangerous. One side is doing this bad things in the name of unity, and then the other side might end up doing bad things in the name of freedom. It's like that's really horrible. It really is. Two major parties becoming equal evils. You know?
We have a question in the chat from Not Gabe. What's your opinion on the two-party system? It's we never should have had one if we had listened to George Washington. And it's bringing this country down for sure. Because the way George Washington envisioned it is we wouldn't have political parties. We would just have ordinary people from every walk of life run for political office, and then we would judge them not based on their political party, but based on their merit and their character.
It's sad to think that in 20 years, the Republican Party is going to become the same thing as the Democratic Party, because they're making like this pro-LGBTQ Republicans caucus, and like they're pushing like socially left values on our party.
Yeah. Well, and tie this in with the political party system. Actually, the two-party system is trash. But here's my issue: is if we can't even work as a country, we can't have a functioning country an election system, a functioning actual election system with two parties. What makes, if we had like a different system entirely, or like 5 parties or 6 parties or whatever, and they're all kind of equal, in size, and they're basically, there's a system in place to help balance this out, it still wouldn't work. If we can't do anything really with two-party system, and we have all this shady stuff going on, and we can't, ask questions, what makes us think we can do it with 6? And to, further reinforce the stuff, the shady stuff, I agree with Republicans that there was shady stuff that happened, but looking at how everything's gone within the last few years, and actually I brought this up a couple months back, where I basically made a point of saying it seems like when the left go left, it almost reinforces the right to go further right, and both sides will eventually end up on their own opposites of like authoritarianism regimes of some kind, I think, and I hope not. I hope I'm incorrect about that. But just looking at how both sides are doing things, you got one side that wants freedoms, but if you critique certain leaders or people that they prop up, then they will strike you down. And then the other side, if you critique or even speak out against, they'll strike you down too. It's like, well, shoot, we're just out of luck, aren't we? It's like, wonderful. I don't think this is what the founders would want. I don't think rose-colored glasses is a good way to operate anything. I've said that about celebrities. People, have a similar thing that happens with celebrities or YouTube channels or whatever, and they protect people. It's like they could say something really horrible, but if someone's a fan of the channel, they will or the person, they will protect them to the end. It's horrible.
Yeah,
it doesn't work.
What we have to get off of political parties, and we have to go back to judging people by their character, because that would solve a lot of problems, really.
Yeah.
Because then you could point out the rhinos on the right and the extremists on the left, and say those two do not represent what the actual population of either side wills.
Yeah.
And then we can actually have a civilized conversation between the two sides that are actually willing to talk to each other. Like, I've had civil conversations with Blue Wall before. He's an awesome dude, and he's completely on the other side of the spectrum as I am. But we still have civil conversations. We have meaningful debates. I want to have that in this country. The problem is we keep listening to the radicals on either side, and that's only reinforced by.
Patriot. The only problem I have with that is that so we have like primaries in each party, and how are we gonna stop like a million people from running for president? Like, anybody can just run for president without like facing a primary, without like doing anything, just like running for. They could just straight up run for president. That's my only problem.
Okay. All I'm going to say to that is the logistics of that never had a chance to be discovered or shine, because we immediately after George Washington was out, we went with the 2-party system. So the very question like that was immediately inundated when we went with a 2-party system. Like, we could never even answer that question because we already got off the track of it.
Yeah. I mean, and the problem is, right, so the issue is we have 2 parties. We have the Democratic Party, who don't seem so democratic, and we got the Republican Party that doesn't seem really for a republic system any longer. So, but then in between those 2 groups, you got these kind of more centered people who are forced to choose a side that they agree with, and they may not even really agree with that side's thoughts or what that side thinks, but they don't have a choice when it comes down to voting, because they want to vote. They want to try to have a voice in the system, and they want to try to make sure that their grandchildren or their children or them themselves might have the best opportunity in life for whatever they want to eventually do. And the problem with the 2-party system is it forces you to join the one side and to stand with them. So you get almost like a team deathmatch. You got this blue team and a red team, and they both then feel like that it's like a legitimate war. I mean, every election, it's pretty much, that's kind of what it is. It's a friendly
that's what it
war. It's sad. But when you think about it, it's like we got these territories that we want to motivate to choose your side every election cycle. So your guy gets in office, whoever you think is the best, person who should be in office. And it forces conflict. The system really teaches people to go to conflict, even if it's not in a like physical, fine form. And they basically choose sides. And then sadly, you get echo chambers like Twitter and Facebook, and it reinforces your bad ideas. or good ideas, and you don't get other ideas, and then we get in a situation where we have people on the left who say we want to secure,
pedophilia.
yeah, we want to normalize pedophilia, or we want to do this in the name of unity. And meanwhile, they don't have any idea of the history behind the party or the history of what they're talking about. So they're then for Marxism or CRT, and then they'll make up lies and defend it to the death. And then we got on the other side a group that might be really way too friendly. So when they get in office, they might just hold power and do absolutely nothing with it, which doesn't really scream safety, because if you need to make moves to help improve a system, that side's not going to do anything. Or then they'll end up getting kind of irritated, and it's like a toxic relationship between these two, and then it just creates divide and damage between both, and then they become something they're not. That's why if you look at Democrats, they're frankly, from what I've noticed and whatnot, in my opinion, and partially fact, if you look at some of history, you'll see that the left, the Democrats, quote unquote, liberals, aren't really liberals, and they're not really for democracy, and they're more for National Socialism or communism even. Meanwhile, the right aren't even for a republic, and they frankly are leaning towards the democracy section. So it's really, you got Democrats on the right, and then this like tyranny on the left. And sadly, I'm afraid this is going to be like a train where it just moves on down, and something will happen to the left, and then the right will become a new left and a new tyranny.
That's kind of what happened in Canada.
They have like the independents. They have like third parties that aren't.
I would vote for an independent, but
they have these third parties like the Libertarian Party, the Green Party. All these other parties that don't even have a chance at winning.
Well, fun fact: did you guys know that Trump actually ran for president before?
Yeah,
before 2016.
Yeah,
he actually ran as an independent. But the problem is, if you look, listen, he's like is he a billionaire? I don't know how much if he's a billionaire now, but
I believe he's a millionaire.
Yeah, I think he's a millionaire.
But some like idiot.
I mean, example, he's a really rich guy. He's a celebrity. I mean, he's been on some shows. He's done a lot of work. And he ran for independent. If a guy like that runs for independent and can't, like, he barely gets any light on him as an independent, what's the chance of getting elected? If it's just like you or me, right? Any one of us in here. That's the problem. That's why he went to eventually and said, I'm changing to the right, and that's why he ran as a Republican. And people are like, oh, he's a Republican now. That's the problem. Is people don't care about the other parties, except they might have better ideas than these two parties who say we're for this and for this and for this, and then they're not actually for any of it.
I think, that's
a
huge problem.
The two-party system. Basically,
a huge problem just comes down to people putting way too much trust in politicians. I think is the root of the problem. I mean, the whole belief that either side's candidate is going to solve all of the nation's problems, be it on the left. Oh, if we elect Joe Biden, racism immediately goes away. Or if we elect Trump, he's going to drain the entire swamp and get all of the corruption out. It's just not realistic.
Well, and I had a kind of a thought process before, way before I think it was 2020. And I had a thought process. I'm like, you know what? There's another problem with the two-party system. Is if I was a foreign government of some kind, and I was able to find a loophole in a country's system that I really wanted to attack, pretty much, and I wanted to try to corrupt it, I would do my best then to take all my, my government's funds as like a dictator or whatever, and I would try to buy off both political parties. I would see this guy's doing the best, this guy's doing the best. I'm going to try to pay them both off, and then it doesn't matter because who wins, because I win in the end. I mean, that's the problem. Is sadly politicians are up for buy a lot of times, and if you have a lot of money as a foreign government, and you say, hey, you're a leader now, you might become the next president or so and so. I'll pay you secretly, and I'll just tell you what to do. You play out some of your own roles, but I'll tell you mainly what to do. And then technically, you own the country, and you can be like somewhere else.
And that's
China.
That's pretty much what's happened over the past 20, 24 years, with the exception of Trump. I don't think Trump was paid off. He was too much of a mad dog and a wild.
Well, the problem is if these guys were paid off,
the establishment went after him. But every other president, other than that, Obama, Clinton, Bush, Biden, definitely Biden, all paid off by every which way.
Well,
George Soros, China, everybody.
And keep in mind, though, too, that with people like Trump, if they were paid off, you and I would never know. Okay, they have so much money and whatnot, and probably resources that they would use all the books, the tricks in the book, to hide, and cover up the purchase of them. And with Trump, it might be less likely because he's already, pretty rich and whatnot. But just because they're already rich doesn't mean don't want to get a bit richer. So I mean, it sucks because we don't know. Now that's why we have groups like the FBI and the CIA and other intel groups that are supposed to help kind of keep this stuff in check, and balance it out. But sadly, they don't seem to really do their jobs, and they might be paid off too. Yeah, then they can get paid off as well. So it's like, shoot, it's like, and then soon if this all happens, you don't have a voice, and it's really just some
neighborhoods addicted to crack and block ops operations.
yeah. Well, then the sad thing is that when this all happens, when you and I will probably never know if it happens or not. It's like, well, our voice doesn't really matter, and this dude's listening to some other interest somewhere in the world who's got more money and whatever. It sucks. Two-party system is horrible.
Yeah, and that's why Washington warned against it, and then nobody listened. But you know what? I suppose that's why we have the Second Amendment and the First Amendment carved into law in this country, is that it was a safeguard against that kind of corruption, even if and when it did happen, because I think the Founding Fathers could see that eventually human nature would take over, no matter how just the original system was. So that's why they instituted the First and Second Amendment. And I mean, look, even today, when so many other countries have gone full tyranny, like Australia, Canada, Austria, Europe, Britain, you don't think the people, the left in this country, or even certain people on the right, wouldn't want to do the same thing? Like they have been trying for a number of decades. Actually, the only reason they haven't is because we have First Amendment carved in the law, and we have Second Amendment to reinforce it. And Second Amendment has received a huge boost over the past few years because of that back there. It's impossible to control guns anymore.
Well, and the other, well, I wouldn't say impossible. Give the left an inch and they'll take like 6 miles. The issue is, here's the issue, is I actually looked at this recently. I said, I want to look at the Bill of Rights. What rights do we actually have? Like, because I'm saying, like, all around, rights are being violated. What rights do we have? Literally, bring up the Bill of Rights and bring up amendments, and you'll see almost every single one of them are being compromised in some way, shape, or form. And if not once, they're being violated in like multiple different ways. The only one that's being really heavily protected, and it's really good, is the Second Amendment. But I mean, there's been a few times within like the last few months where it's almost come down to like, it's just, basically government will call quits and try to take your guns anyways. And that's the problem, is people, and this is where people come and play, and sadly people are, I don't know if it's just laziness or cowardness or what, but they don't want to say no. They don't want to draw the line in the sand and be like, listen, there's a point where I'm not going to allow you to tell me what I can and cannot do. Because then we end up with, they're going to one day knock on your door and tell you, hey, you're going with us to this camp somewhere for whatever yada yada reason. And they don't care about what you say because they've been told and they're getting paid by someone else, And that's why the rights are so important, especially the 2A for I think many Americans, is because they want to have the ability to take care of themselves and to possibly defend from whatever threats may occur. And the problem is the government may eventually just say, we're done with the legal system and we're just going to tell you what to do. Like with the vaccine mandate, for example, it's unconstitutional. But the government doesn't care usually.
Yeah, and they're pushing so many of the actually good soldiers out of the military and the good generals out of the military with these mandates that what they're going to have left are cowards, yes men, and activists. And all of those will do their bidding in the end. Whereas and then with the vast majority of America, I think it's getting better, but still a lot of people are too afraid to do what needs to be done in that situation, which is, take up arms. You're scared for your business, you're scared for your family, you're scared for yourself. It's understandable, it's human nature.
Well, of course, yeah.
Thankfully, I think it is getting better, especially with all the supply shortage and stuff. People are learning to detach from material needs and material goods and embrace ideals and God more than anything.
Yeah.
Because eventually that's all that's going to be left under this new world order.
Well, and keep in mind too, even ignoring arms and taking up arms and whatnot, people are just so scared to even talk. Like, if people are scared to talk, I let alone, bear any kind of arms or
probably blame that on June last year.
Well, what? Sorry?
You could probably blame
he said you can blame that on June last year.
Oh, yeah.
you speak the wrong way and your family gets raped and killed and your business gets torched.
Well, it's like so, and the problem is cancel culture and all that. It's like if you even try to talk or even think about talking in any way, shape, or form, the people are so scared of it, and there's some reasons, they don't want to get fired and whatnot, but there's got to be a point where you say, am I really going to let my what I think be allowed, be twisted by some corporation or government because they, give me a paycheck or whatever? I mean, it really comes down to that. Do I think that because then eventually they're going to tell you what religion they want you to be part of, or they're going to fire you or execute you. They're going to tell you what car they want you to drive. They're going to tell you if you need a car or not. They're going to basically dictate every single part of your life. Yeah, what you should wear. One day Fauci might be like, hey, listen, COVID it can be beat by pink ties with polka dots. Oh, well, I'm not going to wear it. Or, it becomes a thing where if people say no, guess what? The corporations are going to not kick you out because they don't have a choice unless they really want to go broke or start going that way. And the government's not going to do it because then they're going to be like, well, the numbers of people in the country are against us. We're a minority versus, this majority of people. But people don't speak. They don't even want to, make a channel or anything of any kind. And it's actually really terrifying that people do that. Or then you get people who just go along with everything, Like the other day, I saw someone come out of a gas station. I actually posted that, I think, today. As a thing I was saying, this dude literally had a beanie over his eyes and his nose, and then a mask over his nose. And I'm just like, what is going on? Like, there's no way that
products of the public school system.
Like,
I think to myself, I'm like, these people are going to doom us. Like, I'm not trying to be like mean to them or anything. Like, but I don't know what to say when I see that. I'm like, or people are in cars with their masks on. I'm like, okay, who are you infecting? Like, even by your standards, who are you infecting?
These are the same people who then go and take their mask off while they're eating. Like, do you think you get a break from trying to avoid getting COVID? Like, do you think you're any safer while you're eating food than you are?
Is there lead in the water or something? I don't understand. Like, did you eat Tide Pods? I don't understand. Connect two and two. I'm not a scientist of any kind. Like, I mean, by like the, I guess, Fauci standards or whatever, right? I don't have like degrees or anything, but just taking two and two and saying, I go in a restaurant, I got mask on. Okay, sit down, take mask off. Okay, and then put it back on. Like, it makes no sense because you're going to possibly take a chance in infecting yourself at that point, and it just, nothing about it adds up. And it's like people don't think about any of this. It's just they say, oh, well, the government told me to do it, so obviously I'm going to do it. It's like, no.
Like my school makes us wear masks indoors, and except you only have to start wearing masks indoors like during the school day. If you go in like during office hours before or after the school day, you don't have to wear a mask, or at least they don't enforce it. So I made a joke to my philosophy teacher the other day. I was like, I love how COVID starts prowling the halls at 8:15, and he laughed so hard.
It's just like, what? It makes no sense. And then on top of that, if you take like just any sort of common sense, there's bacteria and other things that collect onto that mask. So now you're just basically almost poisoning yourself.
Or go straight through it, because after it all, it is.
Or go straight through because microbacteria and whatnot.
Another bad thing is that a lot of carbon dioxide gets caught in the mask, and
that's another thing. Yeah,
not good.
Yeah, but guys, carbon dioxide actually builds up with the mask, and if you have that go on for hours and hours on end, repeatedly, day in and day out, you can actually start damaging your respiratory system irrevocably. It's happened in Germany, so that some people have serious cases of like lung damage because they never took their masks off.
But guys, trust the science, right?
Trust the science, and silence all of the scientists.
Listen, the Führer was a really good guy at science. We gotta trust him.
Yeah, silence all of the scientists who say anything differently.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's like
Dr. Corella is taking a huge risk just by getting interviewed by me. He could lose his job. Like, there's a very real possibility.
It's like, what about those other scientists who got banned off YouTube for even speaking out differently? Ignore them. They don't know anything. It's like, but they got the same degrees. Who cares? It's like, well,
they don't
They have the wrong opinion.
Yeah, how dare they? How dare they not agree with us? Okay, and then Elon Musk, by the way, a pretty smart guy, right? Left were saying, I think a while back he said something that was kind of against the right, and they were like, he's a smart guy, you should trust him. And then now he's like saying things against Build Back Better, and so I'm like, he's just a horrible person.
Yeah,
How
and
could
he's
we trust him?
X racist, sexist,
It's like,
evil,
I love how that changes.
billionaire, whatever.
It's like, how do you pick these cards? It's just like one day it's like, I want to play a race card, and the next day I might play something else. It's like
they throw away objective truth. There's no standard for truth. Truth is what you think it is in the moment. There's no objective standard.
Oh yeah.
It's just these people have thrown away 2,000 years worth of philosophy and enlightened thinking.
Well, not even good. Like it's not, and the thinking that they go in there, go. If you look at the philosophy classes they take nowadays, it's like they pick and choose all these people who a lot of times are atheists and whatnot, and they choose people who are anti-capitalist and communists and whatnot, and they say, these are great philosophers. Ignore Socrates or anyone else who had like a logical point of view, who helped actually pretty much invent like this idea of let's talk and try to figure out some solutions here or a middle ground. And the left doesn't care. The left's like, and a lot of times, and I've had so many different conversations with Democrats or people who are on that side, and they act nice and they might be kind of nice, but if you say certain things or they kind of trick you, they're always tricksters. They're almost always deceivers of some kind, and they'll stab you in the back pretty much. Try to steal your work or anything else. Lefts are just untrustworthy, and they don't actually give a darn about anything. That's really what it is.
Their singular god is themselves. It's anything that they can do to make themselves more powerful or make themselves look better or give themselves higher status. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to realize the whole driving force behind all of this is Satan. And it's all straight from hell. I could go more into depth about that, but then you get into really Catholic territory. But basically, all I'm going to say is this is all going to backfire in the end. And the fact that they're getting so tyrannical and so over the top just shows how desperate they are. And they know Satan knows he has so little time left to affect all of this before God steps in and just puts an end to all of this. Over the next few years, I'm going to make this prediction. It's going to get so astronomically bad that they are it's going to be tyranny on a level that humanity has never seen before.
Yeah,
it's going to get so awful that you cannot comprehend how bad it's going to get. And after that, they're just going to lose all their power. Like what happened with the Cuomo brothers. A year back, they were at the top of their game. They were national headlines, the greatest people, the most the best people ever, and then
that he had ready to write about how great he did at COVID.
Yeah, and then he's getting People's Magazine and Peace Awards and everything that he never deserved, and then all of a sudden, a year later, right before he's at the peak of his power, he's going to run for president or whatever, and Chris Cuomo's going to be the best anchor at CNN because they nominated him for that award. All of a sudden, Satan pulls the rug out from under them, and now one of them is being charged with sexual crimes, and the other one is probably going to have some brought against him too for the actions of that cameraman that he was working with. I mean, that's always what happens when people sell their soul to the devil. Is Satan will give you almost all of the power in the world and then rip it right out from under you.
Well, I mean, he's a trickster. I mean, and for example, I always try to I talk to different people and they might not agree with me and I might not agree with them, and that's perfectly fine. Of course, the left, they don't see that exact same way. And for another example, and whatnot, I know CPUSA, you and I might disagree on some things in the Bible and whatnot. But I mean, that's fine. That's fine.
That's fine.
We can disagree on that one and debate it.
Debate is a good thing.
Yeah, debate's good, and it's all about debate is to try to convince someone and figure out what point is actually more true than the other.
It's to strive for truth.
Yeah, and that's the point. And sadly, the left doesn't see it that way, and I agree. I think they are demonically tricked. I think they did something down the road somewhere. They sold their soul or whatever, and then they get some kind of fame, fortune, or power of some kind, and then eventually they die instantly from some kind of disease or whatever it may be. And it's just they do all this they think they're safe, and then they're not, and it's foolish of them. And then they'd sadly take us all down with them because they have no real, I guess, other options or choice or whatever is stirring in them. It's horrible. It's sad. But these people are taking us out. Like, for example, actually, there was a Brian. I think his name is Williams. Something. Yeah, Brian Williams. Not too long ago.
I know who
he
you're
was
talking
on
about.
MSNBC. He signed off, right? And if you listen to the speech and whatnot, it almost sounds like he was talking about the left. He's like, I'm not a liberal. I'm not a conservative. I'm an institutionalist. Meanwhile, he was preaching for a while the leftist talking points and everything, and now he's being booted off air, and he's saying basically if you listen to what he's like, the darkness has spread onto the main roads and it's in the school board meetings and the grocery stores now. It's like, and he's like, I'm going to start speaking out against all this. I'm like, you guys are actors. That's really what they are. That's why they've got green screens. They're getting paid, and then they're eventually like, oh shoot, this is actually real now. It's like, yes, it's real, and people are actually getting hurt by it. How dare you? How dare you?
Yeah, it's nice to sit on top of the hill and preach everything nice and lovely, and then you go down in the streets and see everything burning, and you're like, oh,
and there's
I
a
messed
saying.
up.
There's always a saying, like, I think it was I forgot what the saying was, but it was something like the socialists get the bullet too at the end, because the socialist thing don't rise power. And actually, Yuri Bezmenov said something about this. The guy who talked about active measure.
The Russian defector.
He was a
in
defector
in the end, the people who fight for communism also get killed too.
Yeah, I mean,
because they realize that they made a mistake and they become the enemies of the new order, and then at that point they're useless. Well, they've accomplished their mission.
Well, and these people are definitely actors. Actually, I thought for a while, ever since really Biden took off, I was like, this has got to be fake. There's no way. Example 1, Biden and green screen. I don't know if you guys saw the green screen stuff I talked about a while back. That was definitely green screen. I've done editing and whatnot. It definitely looks like green screen. Second evidence, there was a firework green screen. What looked to be like Disney effect fireworks, and Biden's looking over the edge. And I'm not making this up. You look it up I actually posted it even on my channel months back. Crazy stuff. Third evidence, Jen Psaki, not too long ago, actually might have been a few months back now.
Dodgeball.
She said, we came down to Washington. It's like a show. This is why we came down to Washington D.C. So she's almost admitting there's something kind of show-like going on. Fourth piece of evidence that these people are actors. The Williams guy, and example, Don Lemon as well. Don Lemon talks bad about Florida, says it's dangerous, then gets caught down there, right? These people are just being paid off. Fifth evidence is they're getting TikTok stars going there, and they're acting like it's just a jolly old time. They're actors, and they're getting paid, and none of this is actually probably even happening at the actual DC White House. Because sixth piece of evidence is a while back there were kind of intel YouTube channels who were monitoring the White House, and they're like, there's nothing going in or out of that place. Where is this stuff happening? Meanwhile, it's like Biden's like out in the sunny piece of grass, and when I just like, there's nothing. Where's he at? There's nothing out on this camera, but yet he's over here somehow with a helicopter. Which brings me to my other point.
I've actually monitored those live streams when I've had the time, when Biden is supposedly leaving the White House, because sometimes you can find they release the public schedule. He doesn't. There's no cars that leave the White House at that time.
Which brings me to another point.
Yeah, and then I see hours later, he's somewhere halfway across the country where he would have had to gone to Air Force One, and the only way that you can get to Air Force One is via car leaving from the White House front lawn or via helicopter, and you can see both of those from the camera that I was watching. He never left.
Well,
and then he's halfway across the country.
There was something that no one really talked about, and it might be a legitimate okay, it's not really a big deal. Hey, listen, Biden might be actually at the Washington D.C. White House every now and then, but I don't think he's really. I think he's green screen somewhere else, because there's actually another White House in America. Did you guys know this? Atlanta, Georgia, Tyler Perry's White House. People were talking about this. There was something that was bought. I forgot. It had TP on it. People were trying to figure out, what does this TP initial stand for? And people figured out that they think it was the Tyler Perry White House, which, by the way, is a movie set. Tyler Perry is I believe, a director for a lot of comedies and whatnot. And it would also make sense. Oh, they got green screen there, so they got a White House, a replica, similar replica, and they got green screens, and they got all the movie directing stuff, so they could direct this. Meanwhile, make it all look like a legitimate White House. And then there were other things with, I think, Q, which take for as you will. I know some people don't trust Q. Yeah, take it with a grain of salt. Where there was something posted, I think, a while back by Q, where he was pointing out that there was cameras in the background. So you have like the Oval Office, right? And then kind of behind there, you can see reflections of cameras and whatnot. And it looks like it's open on the other side. So it's like a studio or a set. So it's like, are these people really actually in charge? Or are they just actors? You know?
I mean, the people running the country right now are George Soros and China. That's
I would argue
that's
it's not even George
painfully evident
Soros.
with this president. I don't know how much that has been for the last ones, but I can guarantee you the people running this presidency are China and George Soros.
I mean, I hate to say it. I hope they're these people. I hope I'm wrong on the acting stuff. It's just kind of weird that it's like all this stuff is green screen and like set up and looks like a set, like an actual movie set of some kind. It's like that's weird. That's just strange. And every like basically instance, I don't think I've ever seen Trump, on a movie set of some kind, like while he's at the White House or anything that would hint at that. But it's weird that Biden seems like has. And I don't even think it's George Soros, to be truthful, because if you look at when George Soros was kind of coming into power, when it looks like a lot of stuff has actually been happening before him, with the Nazi Reich. Which, if you look at history on that, it looks like someone is actually targeting republics. Like the republic systems entirely. There were a few countries with republics, and they've actually collapsed to similar situations with BLM and Antifa. Of course, they've changed those groups have changed their names throughout history and act like they were brand new, like they did now. BLM was actually not.
They tried the the same thing in South Africa recently, and that resulted in a giant civil war. And
well, Weimar Republic. BLM was actually around then. Fun fact: they were not BLM though. They were called the Red Front. They were part of a communist group. And I actually have theories that they weren't truly communist even, but they were about social justice. Yeah, they also were made up of politicians and just civilians and whatnot. Then you had Antifa, which was Antifascista Action, and then Weimar Republic became, as we know, Nazi Germany with Hitler and so on. And then there was another republic, I think, near down South America, which had a similar instance where they actually fell apart too. And now in America, it's supposed to be a republic too. So it makes sense. So I think someone's trying to take out the republics, trying to break it down, trying to chop it up and destroy republics, because republics are, frankly, a really good way to make people free. And if no one's free, then you can, turn them into slaves.
1984, you can just control the population indefinitely.
And George Orwell. George, I think he actually had a book, 1984, right? George Orwell, I know, guys know about him.
I painfully read that book.
I haven't. I might sadly have to give it a read just because I'm kind of interested.
It's so pertinent to today. People can't sing its praises enough, but good lord, it is such an awfully painful book to get through.
He's actually, apparently Orwell was a socialist himself.
He was.
Yeah, which is I hope he didn't legitimately know what he was doing as a socialist, because it's kind of weird that we have, in my opinion, we have socialists damaging things. Meanwhile, he was a socialist who foretold a lot of this. So I don't know if he actually genuinely.
A lot of his criticisms come from the perspective.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of Orwell's perspective comes from being a Trotskyite. So while he was a socialist, he saw it in a different light than Stalin and Lenin and all those hardline communists.
Yep.
So you can see in his book that he's not outright condemning socialism or communism. Because while he says that the current system, the Stalinized system, is bad and is tyrannical, it's still better than the capitalist era. There's a lot of references to that in 1984. So you can see that he's a Trotskyite, and he's coming from the perspective of Trotsky, but he is still calling out the dangers of socialism.
Yeah. I mean, and then actually, funny enough, it was a Monopoly board game. You guys know Monopoly's actually got some weird history as well.
Yeah.
So, Monopoly board game history. Yeah, Monopoly. Well, okay, so Monopoly's a board game, right? And it's where you make money. And a lot of people, there was a what's his name? Something Ketusami. I don't know. He was a guy who was in a poor family and whatnot. And he actually learned from his friend's rich dad, and his friend's rich dad taught him that a good way to make money is to learn from the board game Monopoly, as it is basically landlord. And funny enough, if you look at some politicians, they do similar things as Monopoly does. Now, the history of Monopoly is quite interesting. The guy who made Monopoly actually got some of his ideas from a socialist, an economic socialist or whatever, Basically, this dude wrote a bunch of different things on economics and developed his like own kind of ideology, and it was all about economics. But he was also a socialist while doing so. If you look at socialists, they're actually capitalists in a way. It's really weird. Socialists, the idea is to pretty much steal a lot of times from people or to make things freer and so on. But they like money. It's very interesting stuff. And I think actually a lot of people don't realize that you can learn a lot from board games, and some of these board games are made by people who understand systems. That's why actually, I don't know if you guys remember the Biden thing, the thing where Biden passed a law basically blocking off landlord stuff and saying, here, that you can't evict people. Apparently it was passed by it was passed by I think it was like the squad, and some of the squad members were found actually landlording and leasing property from what I understood. And it's just like, it really makes it basically what they're doing is they're patching up holes in the system. They're like, this is for me and not for you. It's like, I will do this, and then I will try to profit off this, but you the civilian, you can't. Socialists are
Rules for
very
thee, but not
smart.
for me.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people are, I think that socialists are just thieves. Meanwhile, they're actually very smart when it comes down to economics. Most time, they make it only for them, though. And I mean, if you're kind of rude and don't want other people to have the same kind of luxuries and so on, I mean that makes sense. You would try to block them off and tape off exploits or whatever ways to go about that. It's very interesting stuff.
Yeah.
So, anything else you guys want to talk about, or?
No,
I'd like to talk to United States Enclave about like the one video you posted like a few nights ago where like the kid handed Biden like a vial of red stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, what would you like to ask?
Just I'd like to ask, why would that be going on if this whole thing is an act?
Okay, so, well, here's the thing. Just because
some
they're
of it's
actors
an act.
doesn't mean they're not doing shady stuff in the background. Hollywood, key example, they get made fun of being pedophiles all the time, but they're actors. So, I mean, just because they're acting doesn't mean they can't be doing secret trades or whatever in the background. Now, obviously, if I don't know how much of the video you watched, or did you watch the video, or?
I watched the whole thing.
Okay, so obviously the blood vial thing was actually CGI'd by someone else. But the legit video sadly wasn't any not weirder. It was still weird. It looked like a USB in my opinion. So the blood vial was a fake one. That was fake. But and that was not by me. That was by someone else. But the legitimate video was actually pulled up here on my side. Basically, it looks like Biden grabs the kid's hand and like kind of puts something in his hand. And in my opinion, it looks like a handheld thing, like maybe a USB. So maybe he's trying to transport something from Hunter Biden's laptops. I don't know. Okay. But he puts something in the kid's hand. It looks like the kid kind of glances down, trying to not be, obvious about it, but you can still tell he's glancing at something. And then he puts it in his pocket. And frankly, it makes me wonder, who's the kid first off? Does he actually know Biden? And if he doesn't, that makes it all sorts creepier. And sadly, with Biden, he probably doesn't know the kid, and the kid probably doesn't know him.
Yeah,
and it makes me wonder: are they using kids for transportation of some kind? Are they because you wouldn't probably usually
look at what they're doing with the southern border. I mean, what do you think they're doing with all those kids they put in cages?
Well, and here's the other thing is if you're trying to if you're trying to figure out bad people, right? If you're trying to figure out people who are doing creepy stuff or whatever, you gotta think kind of weird, and you gotta think possibly psychotically. Okay, meaning kids are not above being transportation for them. Okay, so they don't get caught. I don't know if that's what they're doing. I hope not. I genuinely hope not. I hope our president isn't using kids for some kind of transportation. Here, hold this, kind of run off, and no one will, question you. But it is really, really strange. It is odd, and also the kid might be a kid actor.
The strangest thing this administration's done either. I mean, some of the just bizarre stuff that this president says and does. I mean, did you see the clip of Biden saying, "My butt's been wiped"?
It's weird, and it's like, what? I mean, for example, Kamala Harris. Kids apparently didn't want to be around Harris, so they brought in child actors. Listen.
Kids know. They instinctively know.
That they know if you're a creep or not. I'm like, And I'm like, I'm tired of the lies from the administration. I don't care. Listen,
Biden's dog like knocked him downstairs and bit him and stuff, and bites White House staff.
I don't.
Like,
do we even have
dogs
footage of
know
that?
too. Dogs can
Yeah.
sense things.
And here's the thing. I'm like,
that they like did some sort of cleansing ritual on. The
I don't
White
care
House
that
on
he said
his
his
back.
butt's. I mean, listen, is it embarrassing? Is it weird that we have a guy who said his butt's been wiped? Sure. But frankly, what's weirder is that they're having to basically bring on actors, child actors, CGI things. That's weird. Because if you're legit, if you're truthful, if you're honest, heck, if you have like an
wouldn't
ounce of
hide
decency,
anything.
you don't need to hide it. It doesn't matter. And when you CGI things like fireworks, and I'm telling you, they look like fireworks CGI, and then with the green screen of the media, they green screen to look the media in. When you do that, it brings a whole another level of just like weird
stupidity
to the table. It's like, what is?
It's like
The
on
media's on
top of being lying creeps,
no sense.
you're also an idiot.
It's not just the government who's being like really weird. There's the one millionaire that said the U.S. is going to be in a war in 5 years.
I mean, well, in the way we're going, I mean, it's already a war. Yeah, I mean,
out of the blue, and then all this stuff with the Russia and Ukraine.
Yes, and then
I don't even know what startled that. Well, and today Russia, I think it was today or yesterday, Russia issued a warning saying
they said NATO
everyone will
that
be
they're gonna
reduced
turn
to
everyone into
radioactive
nuclear hash.
Which is
honestly, at this point, I welcome the idea. It would be better than letting
you know what's sad though
carry on.
is I really don't like communism. I don't like Russia. I like their government anyways. But here's the thing: is NATO started it. Ukraine isn't a part of NATO. NATO started it. Listen, NATO, if you don't want to, walk the walk, then don't talk the talk. Okay, like don't threaten people and get in other people's way if you're not going to, Ukraine's not part of. Ukraine's not part of the NATO alliance.
NATO, they're special.
So
yeah. No, I mean, if NATO wants to send troops to Poland to guard against the shit going on with the Belarus border, that's fine by me. But let Russia have Ukraine. We shouldn't be wasting American and NATO lives trying to defend some icy hellhole that never wanted our help to begin with.
Why would we want to defend? Ukraine isn't a part of the alliance. Listen, if it was an alliance, like, territory of our alliance, okay, I get it. It's an alliance. You made a defense pact of some kind or whatever. All right, but Ukraine's not. Ukraine hasn't even joined, and I don't think they're even thinking about joining. So why are we intervening?
It's because
let them dish out
bad rhetoric.
And it's like, and that stuff's getting annoying. It's like, what? Okay, Asian
like
hate. What about Russian hate?
Ukrainians like genuinely hate anybody who's not Ukrainian. So they're extremely xenophobic. They're really racist. So just let Russia have them. They've done nothing to deserve our help. In fact, they've just been a source of corruption and just evil across the planet for years and years.
Whole Burisma situation with Hunter
and Biden like basically threatened. I mean, really, this whole start because Biden threatened Putin.
Hunter Biden thing that was centered in the Ukraine.
Yeah. It's some of the weirdest stuff. It's like, and I don't even know why they started. I think like something happened with like the gas, like some kind of like gas line. And actually, the other thing is, it's so weird. So they made Nord Stream 2, I believe it was just this year. They had the welders going on, and then all the people working on that pipeline to Russia and to Europe, and now they're threatening to cut it off. It's like, so why did we help build that or finish building it? Why? That makes no sense. So we built it, but now we're threatening Europe
and then it just gets shut down.
And actually, I think this is a power play. I think what we're trying to do is we're trying to actually conquer Russia, is what it is. Because look at the country. This is why a lot of countries over in Europe are afraid of America, including Russia, because if you look at the alliance, we pretty much surround them all. We've encompassed like most of the world with our alliance. And frankly, if we make something, right, and we say, oh, you don't want fuel? Okay. Or you don't want to be part, you don't want finances? Oh, you're not going to do it? Listen to us? Okay, we're going to cut you off from all this, and this. And guess what? That's going to change that nation's mind real fast, because they're like, we need fuel. We want this.
And
now, Russia, on the other hand, might be stubborn enough. We're like, no, we don't care. We'll just craft it ourselves or whatever. We don't need you. So I mean
that's how we bankrupted the Soviet Union, is we just drove the price of oil into the ground. And what were they going to do about it? Start war?
Yeah, it is. It's so weird. But I think it might be a power play to basically kind of secretly conquer, try to take control of Russia.
I don't know. I just think it's weird that women get out of the draft out of nowhere. Some billionaire says we're going to be at war in 5 years out of nowhere. And then out of nowhere, there's a crisis on Poland's border and in the Ukraine. And NATO's stepping in for no reason whatsoever in the case of Ukraine.
No, what's going
Russia
on over in
threatens to
Poland?
bring the
I
world
think I
to
missed that.
Okay,
What's
so
happening?
the president of Belarus won
Yeah.
the election, and he's a total Russian puppet, and he's sending a bunch of like refugees to the Polish border because he wants to
Oh.
like cleanse the country or something.
Oh,
Except
dear.
Poland has no way of knowing if these are Russian agents. And Poland, we don't know this because we're Americans and they love Americans, but Poland is also extremely xenophobic.
Hmm.
So they sent the Polish army to the border and to just keep everybody out. And Britain has been sending troops over to Poland to reinforce that line with like engineers and tanks. So it's just a rapidly devolving situation
It's
in Europe.
concerning that the West has become so like conquest-like, if that makes sense. We become like conquerors, frankly, in the last few decades. I mean, really, it's kind of frightening. Like a lot of people say, "Oh, China's so bad," but really, we're like all over the place, and we're like dictating some countries' elections and whatnot. Even and it's concerning that we're basically, it looks like, almost taking over the globe through an alliance system. I'm like, what has happened to the West? Because all the West has become
it's happened
corrupt.
before in history. Rome did the same thing, and look what happened to them.
Well, and then not too long ago, I heard something about like the empires. Shoot, I forget. It's like something like the German Empire. There was some King. I think it's like a King Empire or whatever. It was something in history.
I know
But
what you're
it's
talking
reforming over in Germany, where it was like Poland, I think, Germany, and like something with France. But it seems like a similar thing is happening again. It's like, I'm just like, what is going on? It's so weird because the West used to be like somewhat like freedom loving and like peaceful and trying to just keep peace and make peace. But now it's like we're just like going in like, you're going to be peaceful. It's like that's not really peaceful, like, but it's weird. It's so odd.
Yeah, in less than 100 years, the United States alone went from being an isolationist country to projecting global dominance.
Yeah. And then
some of that was inevitable. Some of that was inevitable because of World War II. But I think, like, especially with the last 20 years in Afghanistan, the United States has totally overstepped its borders.
I don't really think we were fully like conquest like after World War II, because we nuked Japan, right? And then we said, we're going to help you rebuild. We're going to protect you guys. Go ahead and rebuild.
We didn't
and we're
annex them. Yeah,
we didn't, like, because most other nations, most other land, like powerful
Russia
world powers,
annexed all the countries it conquered.
Yeah, most world powers would have said, "Okay, you're nuked. Now we're going to take over your country. It's ours now." We weren't like that. So, but within the last few decades, I don't think that far. I think after that and kind of down the road, we started becoming kind of corrupt, so to speak, or really bad. I'd say maybe around the JFK era, due to some weird other things. I don't know.
Well, after
maybe
JFK got shot in the head.
I mean, there's so much weird stuff. And now we're basically, having FBI's getting involved and telling parents that they can't do things, and we're trying to tell countries what they can and cannot do. And other countries like, how dare you tell us what we can and cannot do? And the countries are telling their people what they can and cannot do. It's like, this is not looking too good for like anyone.
Yeah. Well, who knows what the future holds? I guess all you can do is pray, hope, and don't worry, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, pretty much. I mean, I don't think there's
funny is that like a ton of like these woke SJWs, like when they announced that women are going to be part of the draft, now they're all like, "Woohoo, women are part of the draft," and then they don't look at the bigger picture. I'm just like, you idiots.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah,
women can go and get murdered too.
The military is such a weird thing.
It is now.
It is. It wasn't. It's like, okay, this is logical. This is logical. This is logical. And now, like, remove Shark Tank. Yes. Remove PT from like every single branch. What? Okay, we're also adding women and allowing women to be pregnant
to accommodate women.
It's like, yeah, it's like, and we're also allowing pregnant women to be in the military.
No, not just pregnant women to be in the military. Pregnant women to be active combat troops.
Yeah, which is, what? Not just what,
today,
but what?
Today,
What?
The Air Force.
They took a bit too many lessons from Neil Druckmann.
And emails.
And here's the other question: is okay, who is pushing the woke agenda? Because wokeness is an ideological weapon. I'm almost sure of it at this point.
Yeah, it is.
Because key example is Afghanistan. Okay, apparently the Afghani soldiers that were training, we were teaching them how to be. Apparently, our soldiers or whatever were teaching them how to be woke, and they were focusing then on skin color and race and all this other stuff, and they turned against each other, which makes me wonder.
And then when the Taliban comes, their army just crumbled.
Which makes me wonder,
like one unit which held out.
Who pushed the woke stuff? Because frankly, the woke stuff seems to be breaking down things at an incredible rate.
Well, that's what it was intended to do. It's like you said, it's an ideological weapon.
Goes to shit.
Yeah, we think nukes are dangerous. Ideological weapons can burn out like the whole world. I mean, for example, feminism. Okay, modern feminism. It's an ideological weapon. I'm almost sure of it. Okay, it torches ideas, it twists everything upside down, and then it spreads across not just countries but the world and destroys everything. It's insane.
Yeah, the good news is, as bad as everything is, there's a grassroots movement of people starting to see each other, not even like through the lens of countries, but just as fellow human beings.
Yeah, it's funny. I've talked to a lot of Europeans and whatnot over on YouTube, and they agree. They're like, USA leftists are stupid. It's like, yes, I agree with you, and whatnot. And there's
there's a counteracting grassroots movement that's starting to come up, and it's just going back against all of this leftism crap. Like classical education is seeing a huge boom in the U.S. A lot of those schools are just like completely full, and they're having to like get bigger to accommodate the massive influx of students that want that education.
I heard apparently
left to go.
Parents are apparently forming coalitions now, like teaching coalitions. So basically, what they're doing is
homeschool's on the rise.
They're basically getting neighborhoods together, like, hey, this is going on at school. Let's try to solve it instead of like going and trying to deal with the school board who's paid off and is just going to say no. They homeschool, and then they bring all the kids together and whatnot or whatever, and they maybe bring in tutors and so on, and they try to teach the kids actual truth and actual history and actual math and so on, and do it themselves. Because the school system, if you send your kids to school, they're going to teach them how to be a good democratic soldier and how to be a CRT worshiper, and teach them that Biden is apparently God of the world or something. Yeah. I mean, I'm for the coalitions, except I'm worried that the FBI is going to go tyrannical again and be like, yes, let's go ahead and deal with this. It's like, no.
Well,
about the
at
FBI,
that point,
did you hear that the watch list got leaked a few days ago, and like
people
the FBI think are terrorists?
Wait,
no.
What?
Where do I find that? I want to look at
Where do I find this?
Yes.
I haven't heard about this at all.
FBI watch list leak. I'm doing it right now.
Watch list got leaked somehow, and that.
Oh my gosh! Here it is listed. Is Trump on there? I wouldn't be surprised if Trump is on there. Where is it? Is there a link to it? Is it on like?
Oh no!
Shoot. The FBI included some bomb threats to airlines. FBI terrorist screening. FBI watch lists. Involved millions of people. No fly statuses, according to Bleeping. Okay.
All the articles I can find are from August.
Also, read the FBI can still. Yeah, I don't.
Hey, Jessica, if you can send me the link to that, I would greatly appreciate.
I would be very interested too.
Because if the FBI watch list gets leaked and there's like a bunch of just ordinary American people on it,
how does something like that get leaked? I'm just saying, it's in a server in a database somewhere. Come on.
As incompetent as all of the fools and the corruption is at the FBI, you have to wonder if there's a few competent people who disagree with everything that they're doing.
I genuinely am concerned for the state of the country, just because not only is the country overstepping its bounds in a lot of ways, but the country itself, our systems are out of date, and things like this happen. It's just like, what is going on? Like, seriously, that means it had to be. And I mean, seriously, it makes me concerned, because that means there's probably a database somewhere, some server they have, a private owned server, and if they're not like having that thing locked down with like 5 different passcodes and user IDs, and then those things have to be like, in order to pull it, you have to do some serious stuff to get the actual information on those lists. And if you can just like log in, like put in like a username and passcode, and boom, you're done, and get all the stuff, that's concerning, because that means anyone can do it. I mean, really, if you don't have to be like a pro hacker or anything. You can genuinely like do some serious stuff, get some, download some scripts or whatever, and boom, get into things like that. I mean, that's terrifying. And actually, John McAfee, if you guys, I don't know if you know what McAfee is, but he said not a while back that basically I think it was the FBI was trying to break into a phone, and they actually ordered basically had Apple develop a whole nother operating system instead. And McAfee's like, if you gave me the phone, I could break into probably in like a week, maybe less. And he was saying that basically our country and the government technologies and websites and whatnot are like way back, like are outdated from years and like decades even.
Yeah, they're operating on really old OSs.
That's why we need to turn on up to Congress.
It's
like my dad's an IT guy, and he repeatedly tells me never buy anything Apple because it's so incredibly insecure, and the system is just built to spy on you.
Yeah, it's like,
and then we're talking about somebody with a degree in computer science engineering,
and we wonder why. We wonder why kids, like, every once in a while somehow get into like government websites and things that they're not supposed to, or school, into like databases where they can exchange information. It's like, and we wonder, like, how did they do that? It makes sense when you like the government doesn't actually take care of anything, which makes me wonder, what does the other governments have? What I'm supposed to believe that Russia or any of our rivals, they haven't tried testing their luck on this stuff with their actual like hacker teams and their guys who know what they're doing.
A few months back, Biden gave them a list of what not to target.
It's like, oh yes, it's like yes, I will attack everything else. Yes, okay. It's like, oh great. It's like,
you can attack us, just don't attack this stuff.
Come on, man, don't attack these 16 structures. Don't attack. And it's like, okay, yeah, I won't attack that. I attack everything else. It's like,
we go destroy everything else.
Yeah, we will.
Thank you for the list of what
give it love. We share Russian love with you. Yes, it's like,
yes, President Biden. I will drink vodka to your astronomical failure.
You are a smart guy. I can tell you are sharp. Yes, you're a very sharp guy. That's like,
you are a great contributor to Mother Russia.
I'm like, oh my gosh, Biden, you're going to get us all like killed because you're like stupid. I mean, what? That's insane. Don't attack these 16 structures or wherever. I think it was actually 16 structures. That means basically out of probably a billion different things, he's going like, okay, you said don't attack these. Okay, I'm not attacking those, so I'll just attack these. It's like, what? What? Or you can just be like, don't attack anything. Okay. Yeah. But no, that's something Trump would do. Trump would be like, no, you attack those, we're gonna have some serious problems, Putin. Nope. But
any attacker would have some serious problems.
Yeah, Trump would like retaliate entirely. He would be like mean tweet, and then
some Russian submarine would disappear.
Oh yeah, Trump would make that stuff like stop real quick. I mean, North Korea, for example, granted North Korea is kind of not actually powerful, but
they're a special case.
Yeah, I mean it's like Biden is. He's not even a leader. Like I don't call him a leader ever, and I actually don't. I really don't want to call him president.
He never had the capacity to be anything other than a puppet.
Even if he was elected into office, like just theory, right? I mean, I don't think he was, but like just in like some alternate like thing, he's not a leader. He's not a leader. He should have been in a retirement home somewhere. I don't know if he's ever had the capacity to be a leader. He's always seemed kind of dumb, He said he doesn't understand what he's talking about. He tries to pretend like he does, and then he like makes everyone pay the price.
No, a hugely helpful thing that I learned one time, because I did fundamentals of theater in high school, was you can tell someone's acting and they're a bad actor when immediately or when they fail on a line. Or when they can't remember what they're supposed to do, they immediately resort to anger because it's the easiest emotion to mimic. And look what Biden does when reporters call him on stuff that he's not prepared to answer. You're not black. Clap for that, you stupid idiots. You dumb effers. There's multiple instances of Biden just immediately jumping to anger when he can't come up with an appropriate response.
Come on, man. I was doing what the teleprompter told me to.
Yeah.
And then Harris is no better. Harris is
a cackling witch.
It's like, can you stop laughing? This isn't funny. Nothing about what you guys are doing is funny. Did I miss the joke?
thankfully, as bad as everything is on their side, I think they're so incompetent and stupid that no matter how evil their grand plans are, they're never going to be able to fully affect them because they will destroy them themselves. And you have to wonder, or you have to remember, evil's stupid. Satan is the most intelligent being in the universe other than God because he's a fallen angel.
Mm.
However, the minions he uses are human.
Yeah.
And humans are stupid. So his plans are always doomed to fail.
But sometimes though, and that's the weird thing. It's like a lot of times they're idiots. They act like idiots. But then sometimes if you watch like what their past, they secretly do things. It's like, how did you think about that? How did you figure out that exploit? Like, how did you manage to find an exploit within like 17 different systems of government, and you're now passing this or like trying to trick people into passing it? It's like they did with a couple things. It's a Patriot Act, and it's like, oh, that's not
and
really a
the
good
NFA
thing when
as
you look
well.
at it. It's for the
NFA,
people.
the Patriot Act, the gun control bill.
Yeah, it's weird because they act like they're idiots most time, but then they sometimes do like maliciously intelligent things that they had to think about. It's like, so you want me to believe you're really stupid? I mean, I don't understand if they're, and that's the thing. It's like, are you actually this dumb, or are you just playing up like a role? And then it might be a role they're playing up. They got really triggered about the one question with over on the Charlemagne show with Harris being like, hey, is it Joe Biden press or is it Joe Manchin? It's like, and Harris like, no, I'm VP, and how dare you? Don't talk like a Republican. It's like, weird.
Yeah.
Very suspect.
Yeah. Anyways, this stream's gone on for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna cap it here. Thank you so much, United States Enclave, for coming on.
Oh,
and
no problem.
Everybody in the chat, go check this guy's channel out. Get him some more subscribers because he deserves them. And go check out the channels of everybody else who is gracious enough to contribute to the stream, because probably what's going to happen is most of them are going to end up posting that interview. So you don't want to miss that, especially if it gets taken down on my channel. But thank you all so much for watching. This has been the State of the Channel Winter live stream, and I will see you all later. Stay on.
All right, bye.